Hi, I'm Jordan Rubin, and I'm excited to talk to you about the most important nutrient in your entire body. Today, we're going to talk about protein. Protein is critical, but there is so much information out there on how much protein to consume, which types of protein to consume, what does protein actually do, why do you need it, who needs it the most, when do you need it, how do you consume it, and most importantly, which protein is right for you. I've been involved in natural health for over 25 years. I was deathly ill, dying really, and I needed to learn some of the information you're about to hear because my life depended on it. And when I understood which nutrients, primarily which proteins to consume, my wasting body began to flourish and rejuvenate. And I'm excited to share some of these very principles with you today. So if you're somebody who wants to build more muscle, if you're someone who's underweight or overweight, maybe you're somebody who exercises, maybe you're a more mature adult who simply wants to play with your grandkids and walk up and down the steps without feeling it every single movement, and you know what I mean and who you are, this is going to be amazing. I'm going to share some information that science is confirming, history is proven, but the world is not talking about. So let's get started. What is protein? Protein comes from the Latin word proteus, which means of primary importance, or that which comes first. That's a pretty profound statement, right? Out of all the nutrients, macro, which would be protein, carbs, fats, micro, vitamins and minerals, out of all of those nutrients, protein is the only one that literally means of primary importance or that which comes first. Why, you ask? Because quite literally, we are made of proteins. You are made of proteins. You're looking at someone made of proteins. Our cells, our joints, ligaments, tendons, of course, our muscles. There's even protein in our bones. Our body is a protein body. We're full of meat. And I'm going to share with you how by balancing your proteins, you can have the ultimate health experience you have ever dreamed of. But first of all, let's talk about the concept of protein balancing. It isn't strictly about the amount of protein you're consuming. It's not even exactly the source of protein you're consuming or even the timing. It's all about balance. This is so simple yet profound. Our bodies are comprised of two primary protein groups. You need to consume the amount of protein that equals the amount that's in your body. It's pretty simple. If you want to build a house and your house is made up of certain material, you take those raw materials, you mix them up, and you build the house. If you want to build your house, your temple, you need the building blocks. And as you can see on this slide, protein, which is an essential macronutrient, it means your body can't make enough of it, so it's essential to consume. It is comprised of building blocks called amino acids, and these proteins are the building blocks of your body. Why is protein important? I mentioned this already. Every cell in the human body contains protein. Protein powers your body. It doesn't fuel your body, but it holds your body together. Quite literally is your body. You're a protein body. When you exercise or exert yourself, protein aids in recovery. That's for muscles. That's for skin. That's for joints, ligaments, and tendons. Metabolism. Your metabolism is directly connected to your protein consumption and utilization. Every organ, cell, and tissue of your body is supported by protein. And as I mentioned earlier, even though we think of bones containing calcium, protein is one of the primary components of your bones. Literally what holds you up, what you see in the mirror, and what you're moving right now, even what you're thinking, is directed by various proteins. Not to mention the fact that hormones are proteins. Don't even get me started, too much to share. Now, this is an interesting slide. How much protein do I really need? I want to be very clear. This is the minimum amount of protein you should consume to maintain function. Take your weight, divide by 2. For me, that's approximately 100 grams. For you, it's going to be different. Now, I believe if you're an athlete or if you're trying to avoid excess carbohydrates, etc., you may consume significantly more than 100 grams. It isn't always the amount of protein, but the types that are important. I've said this for years. You may be what you eat, because we say you are what you eat. In fact, I like to say what you eat today is who you become, but you're not necessarily what you eat. You're what you digest, absorb, and assimilate. What you can get into your system is who you become. Now, you can see as part of this slide, it is recommended, because protein means of primary importance, or that which comes first, that protein is a feature of your plate, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And we're saying about 30% by weight should be protein. You can combine high quality, nutrient-dense, high-fiber carbohydrate. You can combine some fats, which is absolutely awesome. This is a great way to balance your meal, but protein is a critical need to address with each and every meal or snack you have. Here's the big one. This is what we've ignored, what we haven't discussed, and what I'm sharing with you now today that can change your life. There are 2 general types of proteins. We've never talked about protein balancing, but yet I bet you realize that there are 2 primary essential fatty acids, omega-3 and omega-6. Their balance is critical. I bet you know that when it comes to bacteria in your gut, there's probiotics, which are good, and there's other organisms that are pathogenic or bad. You need good probiotics to balance out the bad microbes, right? There's a balance. But protein balancing is ever so important. Here's the 2 types. The first, muscle-building protein. We're going to go over all the sources in just a moment. Muscle-building protein has a particular function. It helps you build muscle. A lot of what we see in the mirror, a lot of what fills out our clothes is muscle. And protein is responsible for the regeneration of muscle. In fact, when you exercise or when you're under stress, when you are burned, your body is losing protein. When you consume protein, you begin to rebuild the protein fibers in the muscle that have been torn down or somehow eliminated. Protein helps to rebuild your body as building blocks, particularly muscle. Multiple sources from plant and animal comprise muscle-building proteins, and they're characterized by key amino acids. Methionine, which is considered important for muscle growth, and branched-chain amino acids, leucine, valine, and isoleucine. You probably heard of branched-chain amino acids, BCAAs, for muscle building. When you look at a muscle-building protein, whether it's from plant or animal, it is designated by the amount of methionine and branched-chain amino acids. On the other hand, connective tissue proteins are comprised of collagen and its various types. Connective tissue proteins help build your skin, your hair, your nails, your joints, ligaments, tendons, bones, and even some other parts of your body, such as the gut lining, mucous membranes throughout the body. There's even connective tissue in your eyes, and you know there is in your nose, right? That's that flexible cartilage. Some of us have a little more flex than others. So those are the 2 types of protein, and you might be saying, how much of each? Think about what I earlier stated. Our body is comprised of protein. We're of the animal kingdom. If you look at our body and the breakdown of protein, approximately 70% is muscle and 30% is collagen or connective tissue. That's critical. Why? Because in today's modern diet, if I look at children in school, I look at older folks in assisted living, their diet is comprised of 90 to 99.9% muscle building proteins. In fact, children rarely, older adults rarely consume sources of connective tissue proteins. And what do we see? We see young athletes struggling with ligament, tendon, and joint issues. We see older folks dealing with poor bone health, lack of flexibility, mobility, having occasional aches and pains from overuse. And what's overuse? It could be exercising, or it could be walking down the street, picking up your kids or grandkids. Connective tissue holds us together. Connective tissue proteins unlock our health potential. So, so critical. Here are examples of these proteins. When it comes to protein, you can look on the screen. What do you see? You see plant-based proteins, seeds, nuts, legumes, grains. You see animal-based proteins, eggs and fish, etc. What do these all have in common, including dairy? They are muscle-building protein sources. And if you look at the screen, there's some healthy foods right there. And it's pretty much all of the protein we get on a daily basis. I want to give you a theory on supplements, because everybody, when they think of the word protein, they think of a protein, if I were to say fill in the blank, shake, right? Protein shake, or protein bar, protein powder. Why are these supplements in existence? Really, why is any supplement in existence? Supplement literally means in addition to, and it's designed to meet a nutritional deficiency. Well, guess what? We're not deficient in muscle-building proteins. Newsflash, we're not deficient in muscle-building proteins. What I mean to say is we get a lot of dairy. Whey protein, fine source of protein, but we can consume that in dairy. Well, what about muscle meat? We get that all the time. We get plenty of white meat chicken and red meat. We get some fish. We should get more. It's a great protein source. What about plant-based proteins? What about grains such as rice or peas, which are heavily processed to become protein powders? I have news for you. Peas are amazing, but I have them in my freezer, frozen organic, and I can eat them inexpensively whenever I want. What about rice? Oh, I've got organic sprouted rice at home that I love to eat. Black rice, purple rice, brown rice, other grains too. I have no shortage of access, nor do you, of grains. Why would I supplement with dairy? Why would I supplement with eggs, which are easily acceptable? Why would I supplement with peas or rice or soy when I could eat those items, and often do, other than soy, don't eat too much soy, in my daily diet? Supplement should mean something that is additive to your body that you don't get on a regular basis through your diet. Plain and simple. Why supplement with something you're already getting? Supplement with what you can't easily consume. Here are some key nutrients missing in our diet, right? Because supplement means something that we don't easily consume that we need. Number one, bone broth. If you ask me, what is the number one source of connective tissue proteins? By far, it's bone broth. Bone broth contains powerful nutrients and compounds that our ancestors consumed readily. How do I know they did? Well, isn't chicken soup called Grandma's Forgotten Medicine? Don't we talk about all of these different analogies or comparisons to chicken soup? It's good for the soul. It's good for all kinds of things. When you are hospitalized, say that you get your tonsils removed, or you have another surgery, what two items are you often given? Think about it. Broth and Jell-O. Jell-O or gelatin contains collagen. Broth contains a different type of collagen. They're easy to digest, easy on the system, and guess what? They help you recover. Now, the type of Jello you're getting or the type of broth, probably not healthy, but that comes from years and years of history where those who needed to convalesce or rest, who needed to recover, consumed broth and gelatin. And we still do it today, even though they're not the healthiest sources. That means you, are the first ever brothless generation. You know, when I was a kid, I grew up to a couple of hippie health nut parents. So you probably remember this if you're my age or older. In elementary school, we had fluoride treatments, and it was a chemicalized, unhealthy version of fluoride with colors and sweeteners added, and our class had to take a shot of fluoride. But not little Jordy Rubin. He sat in the corner because my parents said Jordan isn't going to take fluoride treatments. I remember it so well. Do you know what I want to institute in elementary schools and nurseries and in assisted living homes? Collagen and bone broth shots. Do you know what a difference it would make if our young people started to build strong bones? Think of your connective tissue proteins as a bank account. Strong joints, ligaments, tendons. Today we see more professional athletes having ligament tears, having joint injuries than ever before. I've never seen anything like it. If you're a baseball fan, there is a surgery that is a ulnar collateral ligament reconstruction in your elbow, otherwise known as Tommy John surgery, named after the pitcher who first had this procedure. It used to be rare, 1 in 100, 1 in 200. Now, almost every pitcher, I'm literally talking about almost every pitcher, has Tommy John surgery, ulnar collateral ligament reconstruction of the elbow at one point in their career. And we're seeing it in high school. We're seeing it in college. We are not building up our connective tissue. In the past, our ancestors consumed broth because they didn't have a choice. My grandmother grew up in Poland. She was the youngest of 7 children. She ate last. She always complained, I never got to eat the chicken in the soup. I had the bones, the connective tissue, I had the liquid. We come from a Jewish family. She ate the schmaltz, which is some of the fat, and the gribbinus, which is some of the skin. But guess what? At 80 years old, she was upright, strong, never drove, but she carried groceries over a mile each way to the grocery store. Well, I guess just the way back, because why would you bring groceries to the grocery store? Sorry about that. But she consumed broth. No one in the past had the luxury of eating chicken nuggets or tenderloin or ground beef or fillet of fish. They consumed the animal and they consumed the broth, which was an important part of the protein, roughly making up 30%, exactly what our bodies contain. This isn't an option for you. You need to find high quality muscle building protein and high quality connective tissue protein, about 30% of your diet. And you may want it to be more if you've been deficient for a very long time. Bone broth plus cofactors. Collagen is part of bone broth, but a certain unique type. Type 2 is available in bone broth. Collagen is the glue that holds your body together. It's a connective tissue protein. We don't get enough of it, and we're the first generation ever to be deficient. I often say to people, certain nutrients and compounds can be miraculous. Vitamin D is one. Vitamin D is miraculous to someone who lives in Minnesota in February. Why? Because vitamin D comes from sunshine and the skin's reaction via the kidneys to give you circulating levels of vitamin D, which is actually a hormone, not a vitamin at all. That's why it's so important. Vitamin D is a miracle to someone in Minnesota in February. Vitamin D is nothing special to someone in Florida in the middle of summer. Why? Because they get enough vitamin D. So is vitamin D really a miracle to the Minnesotan? I would say no. It's missing. Vitamin D is not a miracle to everybody, but when you're deficient, it fits like a glove on a hand. It is miraculous in its results to meet the deficiency. Here's the deal, folks. Nobody's talking about it, but we are deficient in connective tissue proteins. It's time to bring that 70-30 balance. It's time to put the puzzle pieces of your body together. Some people say, well, no wonder I'm falling apart. No wonder I feel like half the man I used to be, or maybe 70%. You're missing 30% of your overall structure. It's time to get it back. Here's another category that is missing in our diets, adaptogens. First of all, I believe we're all sorts of falling apart today, not feeling our best, immobile, but you know what else we are? Under a ton of stress. What is an adaptogen? An adaptogen is a substance you can consume. Usually it is a plant or a mushroom, maybe even an animal product or a mineral that helps your body adapt to outside stressors. So critical. We know that most doctors' visits today are related to stress. We've never been more stressed about our economy, about relationships, about our health. We live in a society where instant gratification is all we ever demand. Everything is moving. Multitasking is common, not rare. I'm the worst person to even talk about that. It's like a glass house saying don't throw stones, but guess what? For that reason, I consume adaptogens every day, as did our ancient ancestors around the world in every traditional herbal or healing system. MCTs, medium chain triglycerides. These are fats found in a few foods: coconut, palm, little bit found in other foods. But these fats energize and power your body and brain. They're metabolized through your lymphatic system, which means they're quick and easy fuel for the body. If you can consume the cofactors of broth, collagen, adaptogens, and MCTs every day, you're doing a great service to your health. But guess what? The average American diet, consumes none of what you see before you. No broth cofactors, no collagen, no adaptogens, and no MCTs. It's time to change that. And Ancient Nutrition, the company started by myself and Dr. Josh Axe, aims to give you the opportunity to put the missing puzzle pieces back into your life. Let's start with bone broth. Bone broth is amazing. And both Dr. Axe and I, when we do seminars, tell people it's amazing. My very first book, Patient Heal Thyself, talks about broth, as does my third book, Maker's Diet. My second book, Restoring Your Digestive Health. I think you're getting the picture. Bone broth is amazing. All of Dr. Axe's patients were recommended bone broth. All of those that I coach in health were recommended bone broth. But guess what? The benefits are there. The follow-through, the compliance, single digits. I estimate 2 to 5% of the people I work with actually take the time to make homemade broth. Now you can buy organic broth, which is great. Back then you couldn't. But broth is beautiful only when you consume it. We decided in 2016 to solve a major issue for us in our own lives, our families, and now you. In fact, that's how we create products at Ancient Nutrition. Dr. Axe and I create formulas that we need for our health and our family's health, and we're blessed to share them with you. Bone broth protein ignited our entire Ancient Nutrition journey. I remember calling Josh and I said, Josh, I got an idea. I believe that I have found a way to create the very first bone broth protein. He said he absolutely loved it. He was in. And by May of 2016, the first bottles of bone broth protein began hitting health food store shelves. And what a journey it has been. We have seen everyone from athletes to entertainers to stay-at-home moms to older, younger, and everybody in between espouse the benefits of bone broth. In seconds, you can consume bone broth protein with all the benefits of bone broth and even more. Look up there on your screen where you can see that bone broth protein is more affordable and it's more potent than regular bone broth, with a whopping 2.5 cups equivalent to just 1 scoop of bone broth protein, with 20 grams of connective tissue building protein in the form of collagen type 2 and other amazing cofactors such as chondroitin, glucosamine, and hyaluronic acid. These are compounds that you'd be buying in other supplements. Bone broth protein also has a generous amount of potassium and organically bound sodium, otherwise known as electrolytes. High in glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline. Those amino acids help support the body's overall health, from the gut to the joints to the ligaments to the tendons. Bone broth protein is versatile. It can be delicious. and it is missing in your diet. How would you like to say that you consume bone broth every day? I believe it will make the most tangible difference in your life. There's an old proverb, which I assure you isn't true, but it sounds amazing. Good broth can raise the dead. Folks, there are people that have said over the years that proverb. They've said, bone broth makes the old young again. This is what you're made of, and this is what can help regenerate your body. What are some of the exact details and constituents of bone broth protein? We know that we support the skin and joints. It's GMO-free. It is the first ever bone broth protein. We invented it, and it's patented to show that. It's rich in collagen type 2. In fact, type 2 collagen is amazing, and bone broth protein, one serving, contains over 10 times more type 2 collagen than the leading brand. And bone broth protein's made just the way you make chicken soup or bone broth, only in a lot larger scale, using heat and pressure only, no chemicals, to extract the goodness from these U.S. raised chickens. That's where it comes from, chicken. Skin and joint benefits. It's paleo-friendly and free of common allergens. No dairy, no grains. That's really, really important. No wheat, etc., etc. Great for any lifestyle and gives you a whopping 20 grams of connective tissue proteins. One serving a day of bone broth protein, consumed easily, can make a huge, huge difference in your health, save you hours of purchasing, prep, and cleaning time, and can make you consistently someone who is building the part of your body or the parts that quite literally hold you up. Collagen. You've heard about collagen. Unless you live under a rock, you've heard about collagen. Collagen is that glue that holds your body together. We have created the very first multi-collagen protein. Why? Because your body has dozens of types. And products that are available have 1 to 2 types. How many of you take a riboflavin supplement every day? If you've even heard of it. It's vitamin B2. It's important for neurological function, for energy. Why don't you take riboflavin? Simple. You get it in your multivitamin. A multivitamin and mineral covers your bases because there's lots of vitamins and minerals, over 20 that we should consume every day. Same thing for collagen. There are multiple types. We created multi-collagen protein to be the comprehensive collagen formula. We have 4 food sources. The screen says 5 types of collagen, but let me give you a little secret, and don't tell too many people. We've recently received something called a proteomic analysis of our key ingredients in multi-collagen protein, and we now know, and will soon unveil, that multi-collagen protein has 10 types of collagen. Why would you consume a leading brand of collagen with 1 or 2 when you can consume 10 types of collagen to work all around your body from 4 whole food sources? But it gets even better. Multi-collagen protein has an exclusive and proprietary fermented eggshell membrane collagen. I've learned about this technology for nearly 26 years, and we are so excited to bring it to the world. Not only is this fermented collagen a game changer, it is backed by 5 human clinical trials with amazing benefits, including results in as little as 1 day. How many of you have said, boy, I like taking products, but I wish they'd work quicker? 1 day in a clinical study of healthy individuals, those who consumed this fermented eggshell membrane collagen experienced less soreness from exercise in a significant fashion. In just 7 days, joint flexibility and mobility were improved. In 28 days, facial appearance, including a reduction in crow's feet. My bad dad joke is, I'm glad we are equal opportunity health providers. We even care about crows and their foot health. I know it's a terrible joke, but I had to say it. Maybe not. Next time I won't. So you're also going to see consistent results. People first say, I need it to work quickly. Well, multi-collagen protein does that. But then they say, I want it to work over the long haul because certain products I take start to work and then they don't work as well. In clinical studies on humans, the key ingredient in multi-collagen protein was shown to provide consistent results even at the 90-day marker. Works quickly, works effectively, works safely, and works consistently. In addition, we have added a highly absorbable form of vitamin C, which helps the body build collagen, and a clinically studied probiotic for gut health, all in multi-collagen protein. And the best news is, it's so easy to consume. We'll share that with you in just a moment. Why do we need collagen? We talked a little bit about this, but we're made of collagen, but it's also important to note that as we age, we lose collagen. Look at those graphs. The first graph is the peak level of collagen. The one below it is where your levels are going based on that age. And I'm somewhere in the middle of that line that says 30s and that line that says 40s, or the one between 40 and 50. Look how much less collagen I'm supposed to have if I was normal. And you know I'm not normal, not even close to normal. That's so much less collagen. Even peak levels go down, but most people who don't consume collagen in their diet are not at peak levels. You need to consume collagen for the benefit of your hair, your skin, your joints, your nails, your gut, what holds you together. Do it, and you will experience results that you'll see in the mirror, but you will feel in your entire body. If you don't care enough about your own health, do it for others that count on you. It's not just about playing basketball or pickleball at my young 45 years of age. It's about hanging out with my kids, training my daughter in basketball, my son in football. I want to do all that. And I can do it because I care for the body that holds me up. We talked earlier about the importance of muscle building protein, but I also told you that I only want to consume supplements that contain foods and compounds, nutrients that I don't get on a regular basis. Here's a great example. We decided to create the first and only seed-powered, adaptogen-infused, pea-free, rice-free, soy-free, grain-free, legume-free, plant-based protein. And it's called Plant Protein Plus, giving you the power of seeds, giving you the power of adaptogens, and medium-chain triglycerides, or MCTs, to fuel your brain and your body. We created a combination of expensive and rare seeds, everything from organic sunflower seed and pumpkin to organic sacha inchi, which is a jungle peanut, but it's not a legume, to watermelon seed. You know, the inside of those black seeds are edible, and they're powerful too, over 60% protein when you remove some of the fiber. Plant Protein Plus contains the seeds that we don't eat enough of. Pumpkin seeds are a great source of zinc. Sunflower, great source of B vitamins. It was said, and you can look this up online, years ago, that a group of the American U.S. Armed Forces subsisted on a half cup of sunflower seeds, and only that in water every day because of how powerful those seeds are. Think about it. Seeds are small, and they have all the genetic material to become a massive plant. So powerful. These seeds contain proteins and beneficial compounds, but we didn't stop there. We heard that you don't want peas all the time because they can cause some gas. Rice, many people are not consuming grains or disaccharide carbohydrates, and even rice protein has some of that in there. We heard you, but we also know that you need to round out your muscle-building protein source with powerful adaptogens to support healthy stress levels and improve energy, as well as MCTs. So we have powerful adaptogens along with our 7 seeds, and we're going to talk about some of them right now. In 1 scoop of Plant Protein Plus, tastes delicious by the way, organic ginseng, which is one of the quintessential adaptogenic botanicals in traditional Chinese herbalism. Organic ashwagandha, one of the most powerful herbs in Ayurveda. Organic chia, organic sacha inchi. Chia was called runner's food. Sacha inchi provides energy and strength to Amazonians. And organic reishi, known as the mushroom of immortality or the supernatural mushroom. Be honest. Have you today consumed ginseng, ashwagandha, chia, sacha inchi, and reishi? Maybe chia, but I doubt the others. look at some of these benefits from our Plant Protein Plus. Healthy body composition, fat metabolism, increased muscle recovery, and a positive mindset. It is absolutely amazing. And why is it a supplemental protein? Because you don't get these in your diet. You get dairy, so you don't need whey protein. You consume plenty of eggs, you don't need egg protein. You consume plenty of peas and rice, or at least you can if you want to. We want to give you powerful superfoods that you're missing in your daily diet. Here's my challenge to you folks. You're going to combine proteins the way your body was created. What's the ratio? 70% muscle building, 30% connective tissue. Well, we have news for you. We're going to give you a blueprint of how to do that in your daily diet. We call it the Take 3 a Day. And there's so many ways you can do that. By taking these 3 servings of our powerful protein formulations, you are getting approximately 70% connective tissue building proteins and 30% muscle. But wait, Jordan, you said we need 70% muscle, 30% connective tissue. You are right. I knew you were listening. But here's the deal. In our diet, we don't get enough connective tissue protein. So I want to tip the scales. So we're going to do a reverse for you to make sure you are loading your body with connective tissue proteins. Here's a way to do it. Add multi-collagen protein in your water, in a smoothie, in coffee, or in oatmeal. Here's what I do for my son who is training to be a football player. He is a big teenager. He's much bigger than me. And here's what I do. I make him oatmeal. I actually make it at night. I take oats, and instead of using water, I actually soak the oats in raw buffalo milk. Yes, I know you've never heard that before, but I go to great lengths to provide my family with amazing nutrition. And then I add 2 scoops of multi-collagen protein. I mix that up, and it basically becomes one wonderfully delicious combination of quality carbohydrates for energy, muscle-building proteins and fats, and connective tissue proteins in a perfect ratio of 70-30 for my son to thrive. And when I say perfect ratio, our bodies are 70% muscle building, 30% connective tissue. I recommend when you're supplementing to consume 70% connective tissue, 30% muscle building. And if you don't remember the terms, it's pretty simple. Make overnight oats with 2 scoops of multi-collagen protein. Make a smoothie with 2 scoops. Put it in your coffee. There's never been an easier way to get powerful nutrition, and no one will know you've even mixed it in because it's tasteless, odorless, and soluble. Lunch, Plant Protein Plus in a delicious smoothie. Check out this amazing recipe. 1 scoop of Plant Protein Plus, chocolate, berry, or vanilla. 1/2 to 1 cup of fresh or frozen fruit of choice. 1 cup of unsweetened coconut or almond milk, or any other dairy-free milk, and you have a powerful plant-based smoothie combined in your high-speed blender, and it is a perfect addition to an afternoon snack, or you can mix this into cereal, into oatmeal, or my favorite, make energy bites or little energy balls. Take some nut butter, take some coconut sugar, or maybe you don't need any sweetener at all, and add Plant Protein Plus to it. It is so, so good. That's your second of the 3 a day. And number 3, bone broth protein. We made a suggestion to have bone broth protein turmeric as a base for soups, stews, and casseroles. Mix it in warm water, or you can have bone broth protein vanilla or chocolate in a smoothie. I make my children bone broth protein smoothies with almond milk or raw dairy milk, 1 scoop in about 6 to 12 ounces. The sweetener's already there because it comes from natural monk fruit and stevia. There are so many ways to do this. If you are having I'll call it a pasta dish, put some bone broth protein pure in your pasta sauce. It's only going to make it better. If you're making rice, this is a game changer. Instead of using just water, add a scoop or 2 or 3 of bone broth protein into the water that you're cooking the rice with. It infuses into the rice. And could you imagine your kids having a delicious serving of rice with 10 to 20 grams of connective tissue proteins? Folks, listen, there is an opportunity for you to take your health to a place it's never been. And we have created so many products over the years. In fact, I have formulated well over 250 products, some of which are bestsellers in their categories, but I've never been as passionate about a message that can change your life. I want to challenge you today to commit to this 3-a-day program. 1 serving of multi-collagen protein, 1 serving of bone broth protein, and 1 serving of plant protein plus. In 3 weeks, I believe you will feel and look differently. I believe your energy will blossom. I believe your skin will shine. I believe your gut will thank you. And I believe you can essentially begin the rebuilding process of your body. No matter how many years young you are, no matter what that graph said earlier, what you do over the next 3 weeks can pay lasting dividends for your health. Please do this. I highly encourage you. You'll have an opportunity today to purchase these products at a special low price. You do not want to miss the synergy of bone broth protein, multi-collagen protein, plant protein plus with seeds, adaptogens, and MCTs. You don't get these in your diet. They may not be miracles, but they are missing pieces to your overall health. I'm Jordan Rubin, founder of Ancient Nutrition. I want to thank you so much for allowing me to share this message with you. So many people have heard my seminars over the years, and I've always said, you have 2 choices now. You've heard, you can walk out, eat the same foods, drink the same beverages, and have the same level of health as you've always had, the same list of complaints, the same list of questions. Or you can listen and take action. I love the Bible verse that says, faith without action is dead. I was at a point, probably like you at some stage, where I was faced with a choice. Do I change my diet, or do I sit in the same broken state I've always been? I made powerful and difficult changes. We're asking you to make powerful and simple changes. We are here to support you. We've got recipes, thousands of articles, thousands of videos on the drax.com, ancientnutrition.com, and our other platforms. We are here for you. And I only help create these amazing products so that you can have a healthier future for yourself and your family. Thank you so much for joining me, and God bless you.